Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about just how much money Grand Theft Auto Online is making and how that could have an impact on the GTA series in 3 ways that I think would impact everyone. So as we touched on yesterday, Take-Two Interactive had their earnings report results, kind of like a press conference or a conference call for the first fiscal quarter of 2017. And in that, they talked about their plans going forward, a little bit of what they did in the past quarter of the year, and a lot of what Rockstar is doing, including Grand Theft Auto Online, was mentioned there. However, there's one thing in that video that I actually didn't notice or I didn't catch, and it was how much money Take-Two Interactive is stating Grand Theft Auto Online is making them. So there's been previous reports that Rockstar has made upwards of $50 and $60 million alone just on the sale of Grand Theft Auto Online shark cards ever since it has come out. And in this report, Strauss Zelnick actually talked about the success of that. So on the screen right now, I'm going to put 2 paragraphs. This first one is talking about, I guess, their overall operations, and they're referring to bookings, which I'm assuming is like money earned or cash generated. So this is from Strauss Zelnick. They stated the largest contributors to bookings were Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, NBA 2K16, and Battleborn. Okay, so in 2016, still the largest contributor to Take-Two Interactive's, I guess, earnings are Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online, a game that released basically in 2013 with remasters and the PC version coming out in 2014 and 2015. Goes on to state, catalog accounted for $208.7 million of bookings led by Grand Theft Auto Online and NBA 2K. So I don't know how much of that is solely generated by GTA Online alone, but $208 million split between 2 games nonetheless is extremely crazy. They also go on to say digitally delivered bookings were $172.7 million as compared to $245 million in last year's fiscal first quarter, led by Grand Theft Auto, NBA 2K, and Battleborn. However, as crazy as that is, that's not even the biggest and most interesting thing that I noticed from this earnings report. So Strauss Zelnick also goes on to say, fiscal 2017 is off to a solid start with first quarter net revenue up 13% year over year. He goes on to say, our results were driven by the continued strong performance of Grand Theft Auto 5 and NBA 2K, coupled with growth in revenue and bookings from recurrent consumer spending, including record bookings from Grand Theft Auto Online. So that's basically saying that over the past quarter, Rockstar have had record sales in terms of GTA Online shark cards. So that's pretty crazy. To give you guys an example of what happened in the last quarter of Grand Theft Auto Online from Rockstar Games, it was probably one of the 2 biggest DLCs ever, Further Adventures in Finance and Felony, Cunning Stunts, and the release of the In-N-Out and Entourage adversary modes. So that's a lot of content in Grand Theft Auto Online, and because of that, Rockstar saw a record number of shark card sales during that period. They've never made more money than what they did in the past quarter, basically since April 1st, 2016. Now that's pretty insane when you think about it, because there were many other times where Rockstar introduced a bunch of other content into the game as well. So if we go back to 2015, you obviously had Executives and Other Criminals, you had Lowriders that were released back to back that were pretty close, but that didn't break the record when it came to Further Adventures in Finance and Felony and Cunning Stunts. Now, I'm not sure if that was just because of the sheer amount of content that Rockstar introduced into the game. I mean, with Further Adventures in Finance and Felony, there were so many things you had to buy. Warehouses, you had to buy the CEO office. You obviously had like 13 or 10 or new vehicles or something like that. With Cunning Stunts DLC, there was obviously 19 new vehicles that was introduced in the game, new clothing. There was so much more that was added as well that you could purchase. So lots of basically expensive items in the game, and I think that's ultimately what was causing it. Because there have been expensive DLCs in the past, like both versions of Ill-Gotten Gains and Executives and Other Criminals, but we've never seen Rockstar release this much sheer amount of content with 2 DLCs that were released back to back. So that's pretty crazy right there. And now what I want to do is talk about the 3 things I think this is going to mean for Grand Theft Auto Online going forward. So number 1, I think we're going to continue to see not only expensive DLCs, but DLCs that have a lot of content in them. So clearly, Further Adventures and Cunning Stunts were jam-packed with things for us to buy: cars, clothing, pieces of property, and more. And I think that's going to be the trend going forward. No matter what the theme of future Grand Theft Auto Online DLCs are, I always think they're going to revolve around lots of content and relatively expensive things to buy. I touched on in a video I made about 2 or 3 weeks ago the inflation rate in Grand Theft Auto Online, how all the prices of items in the game from 2013 and 2014 seem to be a lot less expensive. And then in 2015 and 2016, it was like a magical inflation rate happened. And I think that is going to continue to go up. I don't see the prices of items just magically going down in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I think that that is something that's here to stay, which many of you guys might consider a bad thing. But at the same rate, I still think that Rockstar is going to continue to push out a lot of amazing DLCs that are chock full of content, even if they are slightly more expensive. And at the end of the day, these are free updates, and Rockstar isn't requiring you to spend any of your real money on these updates. The shark cards are only there if you want them. However, like I said, that might be some people's only options, and it seems like it certainly was because they saw a record number of sales in the last quarter. So that's the first thing that I can see happening. The second thing that I can see happening with this is what I've expected and what other people have stated: Grand Theft Auto 5 never getting a single-player DLC. And that seems crazy to think about because Grand Theft Auto 5 had one of the best storylines of all time. Grand Theft Auto 4 had 2 amazing single-player DLCs, but it seems as if Rockstar knows where their bread and butter is and where they can make lots of money, and that's obviously in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, with the GTA 5 single-player DLC, you could charge money for something like that, whether it's $10 or $15 or $20, but I think Rockstar knows that they can get much more money off of the Grand Theft Auto Online shark cards, because I think that the shark cards for GTA Online, like even just like the middle one, the one that gets you like $1.2 million, is only like $20. And you can't even buy a T20 with that. You can't even buy most of the new supercars or even the Ocelot Lynx, one of the new sports cars, with $20 in Grand Theft Auto Online. So that's pretty crazy in and of itself right there. So I think Rockstar knows that the money is going to be made in Grand Theft Auto Online, and it might be a waste for them to try to do something in Grand Theft Auto 5 single player. So I think that's kind of sad for a few reasons, because obviously I love the single player. I would have loved to see an expansion of the story or even an expansion of the map, and who knows if anything like that is going to come in the future. But obviously it seems like Rockstar's focused in online, and they've definitely even stated that in official interviews and statements in like 2014 and 2015, that Grand Theft Auto Online is now going to be their priority. All right, and number 3, the last thing I can see this affecting is the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. So I know that there was a long period of time from GTA 4 to GTA 5. Well, I think that's going to be even longer from Grand Theft Auto 5 to Grand Theft Auto 6 because of Grand Theft Auto Online. Grand Theft Auto 4 had a multiplayer, but there was no like anything you could buy in there. There was no like character building system. And I think that Rockstar is going to use Grand Theft Auto Online to, I guess, increase the gap to the next GTA game, whether it's GTA 6 or whatever the next title is going to be. So depending on what kind of side of the argument you're on, whether you're for more Grand Theft Auto Online expansions or you're ready for a new setting, a new game like GTA 6, that could be a good thing or that could be a bad thing. Like I said, I personally think the wait is going to be a lot longer because Rockstar have devoted a ton of time to GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, and because of that, we haven't seen any new games. I mean, this is the longest stretch of time that Rockstar have gone without, releasing a brand new game that isn't either a remaster or a new version of Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, just a couple years after GTA 4 came out, you had LA Noire, you had Red Dead Redemption. We haven't seen anything like that after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I think that's ultimately going to impact the release of GTA 6 whenever it is eventually announced and whenever it is eventually released. So basically, bottom line, and at the end of the day, Rockstar is making a ton of money off of Grand Theft Auto Online and off of the shark cards, and I think that might have an impact on not only GTA 5, but also what could be the future for Grand Theft Auto 6 as well, and maybe even future projects. I mean, we haven't heard any word from a new Red Dead game. game or a new Max Payne game or anything like that. So I do believe that it is having some impacts on what's going on at Rockstar Games, for the good or for the worse, depending on however you want to look at it. Now, the entire article and post itself is pretty interesting, so I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description, but we've pretty much gone over everything that was announced. Obviously, in this post, they didn't say, like, we're working on the next GTA game, or we're working on, a really cool expansion for Grand Theft Auto Online, but there's definitely some cool hints in there, and like I said, some of the things that were stated could give us some insight as to what could be next for the GTA series. But anyways, that's really all the information I have for you guys today in this video. I thought this topic was interesting, so I wanted to talk about it here on the channel. If you guys did go on to enjoy the video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.